Tahu nggak? Sekarang buka tabungan cukup dengan selfie. Langsung aktif untuk transaksi dengan BNI Mobile Banking. Semua nggak pakai nanti. Terus ambil uang tunainya gimana? Bisa langsung tarik tunai tanpa kartu di ATM BNI. Semakin happy, bisa bayar tagihan rutin. Waktunya pergi hangout, e-wallet isi dulu. Kalau bayar di merchant, cukup scan kris. Punya adik yang jauh di luar negeri, buat dia tenang studi, kirim uang langsung dari sini. Kiriman uang ke luar negeri makin easy, nggak pakai nanti. Nah, untuk mama saya, kirim surprise pakai di kado, langsung sampai, nggak pakai nanti. Ada kartunya lagi.
Cukup satu aplikasi, download mobile banking BNI, gak pakai nanti.
Hadir sejak tahun 1972, kami KSP Kopdit Obormas hadir dan bertekad untuk terus berkarya bagi bangsa. Dalam semangat melayani dengan hati nurani, kami terus bertransformasi dan mengembangkan sayap, hingga kini kami telah hadir dengan 22 kantor cabang yang tersebar di wilayah Provinsi NTT. Dan kami tidak akan pernah berhenti dengan moto engkau susah aku bantu, aku susah engkau bantu. Kami hadir dengan produk simpan pinjam, solidaritas dan proteksi untuk melayani seluruh lapisan masyarakat. Dan demi menjawabi tantangan zaman, kami menghadirkan digitalisasi dalam pelayanan kami antara lain seperti Sikopdit Online, mobil kas keliling, ATM, aplikasi Obormas Pay, Obormas Mobile hingga mesin edisi yang memudahkan semua anggota dalam bertransaksi. Komitmen kami untuk mensejahterakan anggota semakin terbukti dengan adanya kepercayaan dari pemerintah, maka kami menjadi satu-satunya koperasi di NTT yang dipercayakan untuk menjadi penyalur KUR dan LPDB. Dengan kepercayaan ini, maka Menteri Koperasi dan UKM Republik Indonesia mengunjungi kami secara langsung. Anggota kami dapat memanfaatkan produk pinjaman KUR dan LPDB dengan suku bunga pinjaman yang sangat murah. Suku bunga pinjaman KUR adalah 0,5% efektif per bulan atau setara 0,2% flat per bulan, dan suku bunga LPDB sebesar 0,9% flat per bulan. Selain itu, kami juga menghadirkan pinjaman konsumtif PNS atau potong gaji dengan suku bunga 0,65% per bulan. Kehadiran produk pinjaman KUR dan LPDB membuktikan kepedulian kami terhadap UMKM, dan kami siap mendukung UMKM dari awal usaha, pendampingan, hingga pemasaran. Untuk itu, kami terus mendorong UMKM untuk naik kelas menuju digitalisasi UMKM dengan menghadirkan marketplace bagi anggota, dengan nama Pasar Digital Obormas atau Padimas. Dan demi mempermudah anggota dalam mengajukan pinjaman, kami pun menghadirkan aplikasi Obormas Mobile. Sebagai informasi jumlah anggota KSP Kopdit Obormas posisi tanggal 31 Desember tahun 2021 sebanyak 119.608 orang dengan jumlah simpanan lebih dari 758 miliar rupiah. Pinjaman beredar lebih dari 930 miliar rupiah dan aset sebesar 1,1 triliun rupiah. Untuk Anda kami akan terus hadir dan berkarya untuk melayani dengan hati nurani. KSP Kopdit Obormas, melayani dengan hati nurani.
In life, it's not where you go. It's who you go with. Remember those not-so-good old days? A time when our growth was burdened by obstacles, less practical, time-consuming. We remember them clearly. We have and will continue to remove those obstacles, so nothing will stand between thousands of Indonesian businesses and their desired growth. We do this by being there for them as an expert, a cloud provider, and a partner. We are Cloudica. For thousands of Indonesians, Cloudica has been there in their journey towards progress, helping them to overcome obstacles and limitations that ever existed. As a partner, we know exactly what makes Indonesia, Indonesia. The uniqueness, the characteristics, the local wisdom. And our professional and experienced team of local experts will always use this knowledge to give a helping hand, supporting the growth of the nation's businesses, both big and small. If speed of information propels your progress, then communication technology is what brings it all together. As a partner, we're here to ensure that these two elements are at your disposal anytime you need them, wherever you are. As a partner, we also realize that maintaining your trust is just as important as providing you with the best. And this is why you will find transparency at the heart of everything we do. Allowing you to pay only what you use, with no hidden costs and nothing to hide. Just like all great partners do. And Cloudica has been doing this for over 10 years. That's 87,658 hours of dedication and inspiration. Of always being there for each and every one of our customers across Indonesia. In business, as in life, it doesn't matter where you're going. It's who you have beside you. As your partner in this journey towards success, our commitment is clear: to create the best integrated ecosystem of data and communication. To provide you with the #1 cloud service in the country. To become your Indonesian cloud partner.
Pelabuhan sebagai pintu gerbang dan penggerak ekonomi nasional membuka harapan dan masa depan Indonesia, membuka semangat untuk terus bergerak maju dengan memanfaatkan posisi strategis Indonesia sebagai negara maritim, simpul perdagangan dunia. Menjadi langkah kami untuk terus menciptakan peluang, memperkuat peran sentral pelabuhan di kawasan regional dan dunia. Dengan penguatan ekosistem logistik, kami bergerak seiring perdagangan global yang semakin dinamis dan dunia yang semakin dalam genggaman. Dengan semangat memimpin ekosistem maritim terintegrasi dan berkelas dunia. Untuk hadirkan senyum kebahagiaan dengan mendistribusikan berbagai bentuk barang ke seluruh dunia. Dan menjaga kepercayaan para pengguna jasa dengan meningkatkan konektivitas dan integrasi pelayanan. Pelabuhan Indonesia hadir dalam lingkup layanan bisnis. Pelindo Terminal Peti Kemas, Pelindo Multi Terminal, Pelindo Solusi Logistik, Pelindo Jasa Maritim. Karena langkah kami untuk menciptakan masa depan, Pelindo terus meningkatkan kualitas operasional pelabuhan melalui pemanfaatan teknologi berbasis digital. Beserta pengembangan kapabilitas dan kualitas SDM, kami percaya kemanapun kami melangkah, dimanapun kami berada, harus dapat memberikan manfaat bagi sesama. Kami berjalan di sektor industri yang terus bertumbuh dan menuntut perubahan. Kami membangun sinergi untuk merubah tantangan menjadi peluang baru. Pelindo, mata rantai logistik Indonesia untuk dunia.
Recording in progress.
Memasuki era industri 4.0 yang sangat mengandalkan otomatisasi dan digitalisasi saat ini, koneksi internet yang cepat dan stabil bukan lagi menjadi sebuah pilihan. Dinet sebagai Internet Service Provider berkualitas sejak tahun 1997 memiliki visi untuk menjadi wireless ISP terbesar di Indonesia yang turut berkontribusi dalam program Making Indonesia 4.0. Dinet memiliki misi untuk menghubungkan area yang belum terhubung dengan koneksi internet berkualitas, meningkatkan sistem edukasi melalui teknologi informasi, dan memperdayakan perusahaan dan komunitas melalui solusi berbasis internet. Untuk memberikan pelayanan berkualitas terbaik kepada pelanggan, Dinet saat ini telah tersertifikasi ISO 9001 tahun 2015 dan menerapkan standar IT Service Management ITAL versi 3. Dengan dukungan seluruh teknologi terupdate, perangkat terbaik dan penggunaan enkripsi terbaru yang kita miliki, Dinet dengan bangga menghadirkan layanan connectivity yang stabil, cepat, dan terbaik di kelasnya dengan dedicated connectivity dan broadband connectivity. Dihadirkan pula berbagai layanan business solution yang menjawab berbagai kebutuhan IT bisnis Anda. Dilengkapi dengan layanan Customer Relationship Management yang responsif bagi setiap pelanggan dan didukung tim technical support 24/7 yang profesional dan tersertifikasi, Dinet menjamin setiap pelanggan mendapatkan layanan dengan performa maksimal. Sejak tahun 2015, Dinet dengan bangga ditunjuk oleh Facebook sebagai partner penyedia internet resmi pertama di Asia Tenggara dalam pengembangan Express Wi-Fi by Facebook di Indonesia. Prestasi ini menjadi bukti integritas dan kualitas layanan kami untuk tak hanya melayani bisnis pelanggan, namun juga jutaan masyarakat di Indonesia. Dinet, the quality internet service provider.
Surabaya adalah kota metropolis yang terus berkembang di segala bidang, baik di bidang ekonomi, bisnis, industri, budaya, pendidikan, dan sebagainya. Terlahir dengan nama Akademi Pajak dan Keuangan atau APK pada tahun 1972, dengan seiring waktu berkembang menjadi Sekolah Tinggi Ilmu Ekonomi Indonesia atau STESIA. STESIA Surabaya merupakan sekolah tinggi di bidang ekonomi yang memiliki jenjang studi dari Diploma 3, Strata 1, Strata 2, Strata 3, dan juga pendidikan profesi akuntansi. Untuk mewujudkan visi misi STESIA, maka STESIA saat ini telah mengadakan kerjasama dengan beberapa negara di luar negeri, antara lain Malaysia, Jepang, Timur Leste, Amerika, dan Australia. STESIA Surabaya menerima pendaftaran calon mahasiswa baru kurang lebih 1.000 orang setiap tahunnya dari penjuru Indonesia dengan sistem yang efektif dan efisien. Program Perkenalan Kampus atau disebut PPK merupakan kegiatan orientasi mahasiswa baru untuk lebih mengenal kampus STESIA Surabaya lebih dekat. Pada tahun 2017, sesuai keputusan Menristek Dikti, STESIA masuk kampus terbaik nomor 67 dari 4.000 perguruan tinggi se-Indonesia. Sekolah Tinggi Ilmu Ekonomi Indonesia Surabaya menjadi perguruan tinggi penyelenggara vokasi, akademik, dan profesi bertaraf nasional hingga internasional. STESIA Surabaya juga didukung dengan adanya tenaga pengajar bergelar S2, S3, dan praktisi yang berorientasi untuk menghasilkan sumber daya manusia yang mampu berperan sebagai tenaga ahli dan tenaga terampil di bidang manajemen dan akuntansi. Program studi Strata 1 yang terdapat di STESIA Surabaya adalah program studi akuntansi dan program studi manajemen. Adapun jenjang studi Strata 2 yang terdapat di STESIA Surabaya adalah Magister Sains Akuntansi dan Magister Manajemen. Sedangkan untuk jenjang studi Strata 3 yang terdapat di STESIA Surabaya adalah program Doktor Ilmu Manajemen. STESIA memiliki fasilitas penunjang dalam kegiatan belajar mengajar seperti laboratorium bea cukai, akuntansi, komputer, dan bahasa Inggris. Perpustakaan STESIA Surabaya yang merupakan tujuan referensi ilmu memiliki koleksi bahan pustaka yang cukup lengkap, ruang belajar dan tempat diskusi yang nyaman, juga dilengkapi fasilitas internet gratis. Galeri Investasi Bursa Efek Indonesia STESIA, Tax Center, Custom Center, Pusat Penjaminan Mutu, LP2M atau Lembaga Penelitian dan Pengabdian kepada Masyarakat merupakan lembaga yang mengakomodir dosen untuk melaksanakan kewajibannya, yaitu pembelajaran, penelitian, dan juga pengabdian. Inkubasi rusun sebagai pengabdian masyarakat, Kampung Pendidikan Kampungnya Arek Surabaya, Pekan Sikandi dengan kelompok swadaya masyarakat, kegiatan kuliah tamu dengan narasumber dari Thailand. STESIA juga memberikan beasiswa kepada mahasiswa yang berprestasi untuk menunjang pendidikannya. STESIA Surabaya semakin mapan dalam membekali ilmu manajemen dan akuntansi, sekaligus membekali beragam keterampilan untuk bekal dalam dunia usaha dan dunia kerja yang akan dihadapi oleh wisudawan setelah menyelesaikan pendidikan. Semangat ini sejalan dengan visi Stesia Surabaya untuk menjadi perguruan tinggi terbaik bertaraf nasional hingga internasional. Untuk mempresentasikan minat dan bakat mahasiswa, Stesia juga memiliki berbagai unit kegiatan mahasiswa, antara lain musik, English Club, dan melakukan program Culture Exchange dengan mahasiswa dari Alabama, USA, basket, dance, Jiu-Jitsu, futsal, volley, mahapala,
sudah hafal Michael Mick saya lali.
paskibra.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hadirin
Paduan suara,
marilah kita
teater,
mundurkan
dan juga resimen mahasiswa. PT Graha Widya Bakti didirikan oleh Perpendiknas dengan melaksanakan kegiatan bisnis utama penyediaan fasilitas pendidikan dan pelatihan, juga melayani pesta perkawinan maupun kegiatan seminar-seminar serta melayani masyarakat yang menginap selayaknya hotel. Tujuan didirikan PT Graha Widya Bakti adalah untuk mengelola sumber dana di luar mahasiswa. Poliklinik Pratama Stesia yang bekerja sama dengan BPJS Kesehatan dan Ketenagakerjaan.
Harapan saya untuk Stesia ke depan lebih maju, lebih profesionalisme, dan lebih top.
Stesia jauh di mata, tapi dekat di hati. Dari Stesia itulah menghasilkan sosok pemimpin yang namanya Lamberto Cipau sebagai pemimpin di tanah Papua. Mari kita mendukung program Stesia. Hidup Stesia, hidup Stesia.
Stesia adalah perguruan tinggi penyelenggara pendidikan vokasi, akademik, dan profesi yang berkualitas, andal, dan bermartabat. Kami berkomitmen untuk terus meraih prestasi, baik tingkat nasional maupun internasional, dengan terus berpedoman pada sistem penjaminan mutu internal. Mari tentukan arah masa depan bersama kami, Stesia Surabaya.
Allahumma shalli ala sayyidina Muhammad salatan tuqina biha min jami'il ahwali wal afat wa taqdi lana biha jami'al hajat wa taqdi lana biha jami'al hajat wa taqdi lana biha jami'al hajat wa tutahhiruna biha min jami'i syai'at wa tarfa'una bindaka lat darajat wa tuballighuna bi asal ghayat fil khairati fil hayati wa ba'dal mamat innaka ala kulli syai'in qadir rabbana taqabbal minna innaka samiul alim wa tub alaina innaka antat tawwabur rahim rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanah wa qina adzabannar wa adkhilna jannatal abrar ya aziz ya ghafar ya rabbal alamin sallallahu alaihi sayyidina Muhammadin subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun alal mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Baik Bapak Ibu, kita akan segera mulai. Mohon untuk memakan. Jangan lupa nanti Bapak Ibu dari Perpendiknas juga akan di-shoot. Kemudian Bapak Ibu pimpinan Stesia yang juga ada di posisi sebelah kiri saya juga nanti akan di-shoot. Jadi mohon tetap menggunakan masker. Terima kasih.
Tes 1 2. Tes. Ibu Wiwi, Mem Wiwi, mungkin diisi dulu mejanya. To all the audiences, the event will be started. Please enter the Zoom meeting immediately. In order to support this event, please silent or turn off any type of communication tool. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning to all audiences. Best regard for all of us. First of all, we praise the presence of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala for His grace and guidance so that we can all gather on this day, Saturday, March 5th, 2022, to conduct the second International Conference on Business and Social Sciences, ICOBUSS 2022, with the theme Digital Transformation Business Strategy in Post-COVID-19. Ladies and gentlemen, the second International Conference on Business and Social Sciences, ICOBUSS 2022, is sponsored by Dani Wibowo Tax and Accounting Consultant, CSR Semen Indonesia Gresik, Bank Negara Indonesia 46, Lintas Arta, District Government of Sorong, Bank Jatim, PT Petrograha Medica Hospital, THC Hospital Surabaya, Petrokimia Gresik, Pelindo, Bisnet, Bapeda Government District of Kota Waringin Barat, PUPR District of Mimika, Kopdit Obormas Maumere, Aviation Education Institute Angkasa Avia, PT Dutakom Wibawa Putra, Graha Widya Bakti as a business unit of Perpendiknas Foundation, and also Health Clinic of Stasia Surabaya. Ladies and gentlemen, in this event, we have 3 speakers from 3 different countries, which are from Malaysia, New Zealand, and Thailand. Please welcome our guest speaker from the second International Conference of Business and Social Sciences, ICOBUSS 2022. The first speaker is Professor C. Zalina Zulkifli from University Pendidikan Sultan Idris, Malaysia. Good morning, ma'am. The second speaker is Fandi Ciptono, PhD, from Victoria University of Wellington, New Zealand. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
The third speaker is Assistant Professor Cicaknot Ananta Mongkolko, PhD, from Phuket Rajabat University, Thailand. Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, we also welcome the presidents of Stasia Surabaya, Associate Professor Dr. Nur Fajri Asik. Good morning. The first Vice Presidents of Academics, Associate Professor Dr. Ihsan Budiri Harjo. Good morning, sir. The second Vice Presidents of Financials and Public, Associate Professor Dr. Titi Mildawati. And also the third Vice Presidents of Student and Collaboration Affairs, Associate Professor Dr. Trionowati. With respect, we also want to give a warm welcome to the head of Perpendiknas Foundation as the legal entity of Stasia Surabaya. Good morning, Mr. Agus Subagio. Along with the staff members of Perpendiknas Foundation. and with the respect to all Zoom meeting audiences and the participants of the Second International Conference on Business and Social Sciences, ICOBUSS 2022, with the theme Digital Transformation Business Strategy in Post-COVID-19. To all the audiences, we would like to inform you that the Ministers of State-Owned Enterprise of the Republic of Indonesia is unconfirmed to attend this great opportunity. Therefore, the composition of the event on this day will be delivered by our guest speaker, which are the first speaker is Professor C. Zalina Zulkifli from University Pendidikan Sultan Idris Malaysia. The second speaker is Fandi Ciptono, PhD, from Victoria University of Wellington, New Zealand. And the third speaker is Assistant Professor Cikcanot Ananta Mongkolkul, PhD, from Phuket Rajabat University, Thailand. Ladies and gentlemen, to strengthen our sense of nationality, let us sing the Indonesian national anthem. Ladies and gentlemen, please sit straight. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the next event, we would like to hear the opening speech from the conference chair, Dr. Suhermin. Time is yours.
Thank you. Honorable the Head of Perpendiknas Foundation and members, Honorables the President and Vice Presidents of Stasia Surabaya, Honorable the keynote speakers, respectable the conference participants, presenter, researcher, lecturer, student and practitioner who have joined the Second International Conference Business and Social Sciences. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Praise and gratitude to Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala, who has given His blessing for today. Salawat and excellent greeting are to Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. May we all get his intercession in the last day. Amen. The theme of this event is Digital Transformation Business Strategy in Post-COVID-19. This theme was considered at this conference because the COVID-19 pandemic has profoundly affected and changed the business world, including particular form of digitalization. We welcome innovative idea, concepts, services, technique, research result, and business practices to publish in the proceeding of the second ICOBUSS. The international forum includes more than 300 participants and 150 speakers from state and private universities from Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, and United Kingdom. We also take opportunity to express our gratitude to, first, the keynote speaker who have taken the time and opportunity to share knowledge in this international scientific forum. Second, academic, researcher, and practitioner who have submitted their best article to this conference. Third, the co-host, Institut Bisnis and Teknologi Pelita Indonesia Pekanbaru, Sekolah Tinggi Ilmu Ekonomi Surakarta, Sekolah Tinggi Ilmu Ekonomi Yapan Surabaya, Universitas Nusantara PGRI Kediri. Fourth, the sponsor who have supported this event, Dani Wibowo Tax and Accounting Consultant, CSR Semen Indonesia Gresik, Bank Negara Indonesia 46, Lintas Arta, District Government of Sorong, Bank Jatim, PT Petro Graha Medica Hospital, Pelindo Husada Citra Surabaya Hospital, Petrokimia Gresik, Pelindo, Bisnet, Bapeda Government District of Kota Waringin Barat, PUPR District of Mimika, Kopdit Obormas Maumere, Angkasa Avia, PT Dutakom Wibawa Putra, Graha Widyabati as a business unit of Perpendiknas Foundation, the Health Clinic of Stasia Surabaya. Thank you very much. Fifth, the entire Stasia Surabaya academic community, and sixth, the affiliated ICOBUSS committee for their hard work to hold this event properly. Hopefully this activity can benefit all of us of scientific development. And we apologize if there are things that are less pleasing to this activity. Have a nice conference. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, for the next opening speech, we would like to invite the President of Stasia Surabaya, Associate Professor Dr. Nur Fajri Asik, to give her opening speech. To Associate Professor Dr. Nur Fajri Asik, time is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Peace and blessing of Allah be upon you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. To the honorary guest, Head of Perpendiknas as the legal entity of Stasia Surabaya, Mr. Agus Subagio, along with staff members. Vice President 1 in Academic Affairs, Associate Professor Dr. Ihsan Budi Riharjo. Vice President 2 in Financial Affairs, Associate Professor Dr. Titi Mildawati. Vice President 3 in Student and Collaboration Affairs, Associate Professor Dr. Trionowati. Chair of Study Program Diploma 3 in both accounting and management, tax management, chair of bachelor degree program in both accounting and management, chair of study program accounting profession, and chair of master program in both accounting and management. Lastly, chair of doctoral program in management science. And also would like to greet the chairman of International Conference of ICOBUSS 2022, Dr. Suhermin, and our today's moderator, Dr. Sulistyo Budi Utomo. And then especially to all lecturers of Stasia Surabaya, together with all participants and presenters from all over the world. Welcome to our second International Conference on Business and Social Sciences, ICOBUSS 2022. We are so very happy that the second ICOBUSS is happening today after the first successful one was in 2020. On behalf of Indonesia School of Economics Stasia Surabaya, I would like to express my gratitude and a warm welcome to our speaker today's conference from Malaysia, New Zealand, and Thailand. The first one is Professor C. Zalina Zulkifli from University Pendidikan Sultan Idris, Malaysia. Maybe you can thank you, Prof. Chen Zalina, for your time in this time. Okay, the second one is Fandi Ciptono, PhD from Victoria University of Wellington, New Zealand. Thank you for being willing to be a speaker again in Stasia Surabaya, Mr. Fandi.
You're most welcome.
Okay. Number 3 is Assistant Professor Cikchanok Anantamongkolkul, PhD from Phuket Rajabat University, Thailand. We meet you again, Nan. Thank you very much, Nan. I miss you. Unfortunately, our two keynote speakers, the Ministry of Education, Mr. Nadiem Makarim, and the Ministry of State-Owned Enterprises, Mr. Erick Thohir, are giving us a short notice that they are not able to present today as they have other important activities. My deepest appreciation goes to our speaker for today's international conference, especially for your time and cooperation to participate in this conference. My gratitude and appreciation also go to all of the co-hosts. In addition to all ICOBUSS 2022 committees who had been working hard day and night to prepare and organize this international conference. Last but not least, to all of our sponsors who have supported this international conference. Moreover, I also would like to welcome all presenters and participants in this virtual international conference on business and social sciences, ICOBUSS 2022, who are joining with us today via Zoom. We have presenters from all over the world. Thank you for joining us. In this opportunity, I really appreciate for your contribution to knowledge by joining our international conference as a catalyst to disseminate your research. We have planned in this international conference last year, but the pandemic in the middle of 2021 was getting worse in Surabaya, Indonesia. Hence, we have to delay it for 1 year. Now, today we can make the second ICOBUSS 2022 happen. Although it is better to meet face-to-face and using a traditional classroom presentation, but at the moment as the pandemic COVID-19 has not yet became endemic too, we decide to do it virtually in order to stop the spread of the new variants of COVID-19 Omicron. I really hope that this pandemic will able to control, as the Indonesian government is now giving us the third vaccination for the booster, so that COVID-19 will become a common flu in the future. This international conference is very important in order to build a networking among researchers. We need collaboration if we want to have an excellent research. Therefore, this pandemic does not discourage us to be productive in disseminating our research and to meet other researchers from all over the world. Our international conference theme is Digital Transformation Business Strategy in Post-COVID-19. Nowadays, business need to adapt into the digital world in order to be successful and to win the competition. Otherwise, business cannot sustainable. Therefore, we have this topic to explore and exchange ideas in research about how to be sustainable in the digital environment for business and the post-COVID-19 era. In this blessing day, I would like to declare that the second International Conference on Business and Social Sciences, ICOBUSS 2022, is now officially commenced from 5th to 6th March 2022. Thank you and have a happy international conference. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you for the speech. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start our main session today, let us pray first, led by Dr. Kusaini. Time is yours.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen, let us bow our head down for a moment. We will pray to God of Allah Subhanahu wa Ta'ala so that our international conference can have the maximum benefit to all of us. I will lead this prayer based on the teaching of Islam. And those who are not, please pray according to your belief. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Hamdan syakirin, hamdan na'imin, hamdan yu'afi ni'amahu wa yaktafi majidah. Ya Rabbana lakal hamdu kama yanbaghi li jalali wajhikal karimi wa adi sultanik. Oh Allah, in this beautiful day, Saturday, March 5th, 2022, we gather here to have the second International Conference on Business and Social Science, ICOBUSS 2022, with the theme of Digital Transformation Business Strategy in Post-COVID-19. We gathered today in this Zoom meeting from all over the world, consists of scholars, researchers, and students from various disciplines. Oh Allah, you are the one who can fulfill our doa. Rabbana atina fid dunya hasanah wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina adzabannar wa adkhilna jannatal ma'abrar ya aziz ya ghafar ya rabbal alamin. Sallallahu ala sayyidina Muhammadin subhana rabbika rabbi izzati amma yasifun Wassalamun ala mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the next agenda, we welcome the discussion panel from our guest speakers. Each of the speakers has 30 minutes and continue with the questions and answer for approximately 30 minutes. And for this activity, we also invite Mr. Sulistyo Budi Utomo, PhD, as the moderator. From now on, time is fully for the moderator.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today, I'm going to be the moderator for our three speakers. The first one is Professor Dr. C. Zalina binti Zulkifli, and the second one is Mr. Fandi Ciptono, PhD, and the third one is Assistant Professor Cichanok Anantamongkolkul, or NAN, PhD, from Thailand. All right, so first of all, I would like to introduce our first speaker, Professor Dr. C. Zalina binti Zulkifli. She is a lecturer from the Faculty of Art, Computing and Creative Industries at University Pendidikan Sultan Idris, Tanjung Malim, Perak, Malaysia. She obtained her first degree as well as her PhD from University Science Malaysia in Electrical and Electronic Engineering from 2008 until 2013. Her research interests are mostly concerning about digitalizing and controlling the environment. Her latest research were about food waste management, mesh sensor network on fertilizing, irrigation system, and pest control in agriculture, and many more. She is also an active consultant for public and private sectors, and her works had been awarded by some international organizations. Now, please welcome Professor Dr. C. Zalina binti Zulkifli. The time is yours.
Thank you very much, our respective moderator, Dr. Dr. Sulistyo. Dr. Sulistyo, thank you very much. First, I would like to thanks and wish good to everybody in the ICOBUSS Setiasa 2022. So thank you very much. Thank you very much to President of Setiasa Surabaya, Dr. Nur Fajri, and also the conference chair, Dr. Suhermin, and all the participants, all the keynote speakers, and all the audience for today, ICOBUSS Setiasa 2022. Okay, today I would like to share about the e-commerce and how the COVID-19 effect in the general terms. So I don't touch in the specific, but I touch in the general how like the e-commerce to different between the Germany, Korea, how they affect, and also I touch a bit in the Asia country. So let me share my screen and the material for presentation today. I hope we can see the slides. Dr. Moderator, you can see our slide?
Yes, it is very clear. Thank you, Professor.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay. So, okay, like I mentioned before, so today my speech, I give the simple title, E-commerce effect of COVID-19. Okay, so the first part I will touch about the influence, how the influencing of COVID-19 in e-commerce. So everybody now in our world now, we are worse in the case of the COVID-19, not only in Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, and also over the world. So previously, actually, last 2 weeks, I just came back from the Southeast country. I just came back from Turkey and Egypt. I just sharing here. There are not declared in the COVID-19. So when I went there in their country, no mask, no SOP like Malaysia and Indonesia. Same goes I think in Thailand. So I have a friend in New Zealand also, in Australia also. We are implemented the standard operating procedure like a social distancing. We scan to detect our presence, and also we use the mask in the public area. But in the southeast, in the Middle East country like Turkey and Egypt, they don't implement this. So when I reach in the airport, I out from the airport, they call me Corona. I'm very disappointed. So why in there they call me Corona? So for them, if we afraid about the COVID-19, meaning that we are maybe we will affect is our life and our business. So I just sharing my experience, because I just came back from the Middle East country. So now I just want to share, because I want to touch about the influencing of COVID-19 in e-commerce. So how the COVID-19 influenced the e-commerce? So it has given a client access to a wide range of products from the comfort and their own home, and it's allowed business to continue operating, contact limits and other constraints. So this is the first influencing effect by this e-commerce for the COVID-19. So the COVID-19 increased dynamics in the e-commerce scene across countries and broaden its scope, including through new enterprise, customer segment, and item. This is a well-known. So lead people in many OECD countries to significantly limit physical interaction. So we know that beginning of the COVID-19 on March 2020, Malaysia. Hello, you can hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry, my slide suddenly go to the other mode. So in Malaysia now, we already stopped about the lockdown. We open everywhere, but our case now increase. So like previously in the early stage in March 2020, Malaysia the first start of lockdown. So led in many people OECD countries to significantly limit physical interaction. I think same goes to Thailand and Indonesia. So let me see what happened to the United States. United States demand protection, home activities, food or ICT equipment increase. So same. So now I want to share how the like we are Asia countries, Asia Pacific countries. So and compared to the United States, so also same, the effect same. So ICT equipment increase, whereas demand for items related travel, sport and formal clothes decrease. So this is because of formal clothes not used. We work from home, and also we not out from home. So the limit of this item decrease. So also in US, farmers that started using digital technology to sell their goods. Apparently, the effect of COVID-19, even though the US is a negara maju, but they are also enforced to move to more in the ICT and the e-commerce. So they're directly to consumers or restaurants that move to providing food or grocery, same goes. Even though they previously also have, but they keep increasing. And then delivery service have seen shift toward e-commerce in numerous nations, particularly along the food and supply chain. And the COVID-19 crisis has increased the share of e-commerce in total retail. So we can see here the United States and the United Kingdom, how the difference, the influencing e-commerce in total retails 2018 to 2020. This is the how the influence. The blue one is from United States of America, and the red is the United Kingdom. So both of these negara maju keep increasing also. So we go to this retail and turnover year-on-year change from 2019 and 2020. We can see the blue one is the retail trade total, and the red one is the retail trade. So via mail order, house or internet. This is the data. I will share this slide to the organizer, ICOBUSS CSR. So maybe if the participant want to look more detail about the data in the graph, I can share. I will share this after my speech. Okay. So let's see. In Germany, previously in US, so now we look in the Germany. In Germany, online sale of medication and grocery, which has generally been lagging industry in terms of e-commerce. So surged dramatically, although overall online sales fell by roughly 18% in March 2020 compared to the previous year. So start in March also in Germany. So the fact that Google search for delivery choice nearly doubled in several countries like Germany. Before any confinement measures were implemented, demonstrate the intimate relationship between consumer expectation, government action, and behavioral change. This is, I think, happened over the world. So you can see that Google search interest in delivery selected OECD countries February to April 2020. Very drastic changing. So also if the participant or mahasiswa student want to see the details data, you can request the slide from the organizer. I'm not describe detail here. So I go to the Korea. Let me see in Korea. Korea, where official data is available, the value of e-commerce transactions increased by 15 and 8%, 15.8% from July 2019 to July 2020. Actually, the end year of 2019 already e-commerce, COVID already influenced the e-commerce, but drastically it happened in the March 2020. So food service 68.3%, household goods 48%, and food and beverage 46.7%. Also significant increases, whereas online transaction involving culture and leisure service 67 and 8% are decline. So we can see, and travel arrangement and transportation service 50%, both saw significant declines, meaning that it's dropped. So through a special support program, Korea encouraged brick and mortar stores to create online stores. So they go drastic on the online store beginning of 2020. So Korea government has expressly recognized the role of online platforms in facilitating the transition from offline to online sales by providing a variety of services such as logistics, fulfillment, and customer service. This is in Korea. Also, same goes to Malaysia. Also, Malaysia government provide many of, the grants, the subsidy to ICT, and they sponsor many. Malaysia government sponsor many fund to the that enterprise in the food to in ICT term. So we see how the survey happens. So the first part I'm share about the influence of COVID-19. The second part I share about the survey impact of COVID-19 in e-commerce. So we can see the outbreak of the COVID-19 crisis has a split effect. So here in the a monthly e-commerce sale, we can see start 2020 in March. The blue one is e-commerce company, and the red one is third party marketplace. So we can see the how this, even though this is same role, but the effect of this both e-commerce company and third party marketplace look significant different. So I hope participants already know to differentiate between the e-commerce and the marketplace. Okay, so I not go to basic because I'm sure everybody now basically know the difference between e-commerce and marketplace. So let we see. Third party change in buyers and sellers since the outbreak of the COVID-19 in percent. We can see the blue one is buyers and the red one is sellers. Okay, increase in the buyers in the first phase. Then sellers more increase in the second phase. We can see first phase buyers. I mean the permintaan tinggi. So the high of the requisition, and after a customer more than supplier. And the second page, okay, already stable, we can see, and decrease in the, but the third phase come back. Buyers increase more than sellers. Okay, so here next we can see the main sales channel before outbreak of COVID-19 and channel with highest recent growth. So we have Facebook, e-commerce website, telephone channel, WhatsApp, other social media, online marketplace, and others. This is the data that our group study and compare, and we compare to the slide presentation. So the main sales channel, we can see the blue one is the about the main sales channel like Facebook. Okay, we can see the Facebook 68%, and recent high growth channels 51, meaning that still cannot compete to the Facebook. The e-commerce website, you can see the red one is the marketplace. In the e-commerce can compare own e-commerce website and the main sales channel. So this is the about the percentage. I don't want to spend so much time here. So we can see the third party marketplace, change in buyers and sellers since the outbreak, buyers and seller, buyers more than seller. Okay, this is the survey e-commerce company and third party online marketplace sell a variety of products, but the COVID-19 crisis has for most businesses associated with a change in the composition of sale, mostly towards essential items. So we can see here fashion and accessories. Fashion and accessories can, when come to the outbreak, actually the fashion and accessories will drop. So agro-food and beverage increase more than electronic, IT equipment, furniture, restaurant, and food delivery. This is the top sellers. Okay, then third party marketplace top 5 sale category before and after the COVID-19. Also agro-food and beverage also keep increasing and keep lead in this issue. Financial services, pharmacies, restaurant, tourism, even the tourism effects like fully effect, but they still have, this is after the outbreak. So the third part is I want to share about the natural disaster, how COVID-19 declared as the natural disaster. So what is the action and the effect of natural disaster COVID-19? The expanded vaccination targets people of more than 59 years of age, the comorbidities control with criteria to be recommended by experts. So the determination of herd immunity takes into account the efficacy rate of the vaccine, distributed in an equitable manner while protecting healthcare workers, frontline responders, and other high-risk groups. This is when the COVID-19 declared as the natural disaster. So this one, I think, is every maybe, or I can say that over the world wear a mask. So in off areas substantial of higher transmission, people might choose to wear a mask outdoor when in sustained close contact with other people. So regardless of vaccination status, everyone age 2 and up should wear a well-fitting mask indoor, in public, in area with the threat of high community transmission. I think same Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand. But I heard from my friend just came back. He came from Australia last week. He said in the Australia they not compulsory wear mask everywhere like in the Malaysia. In Malaysia we need to wear when you out from the door home you need to wear mask. So actually our living cost also increase, need to buy a mask, even though a mask not for COVID but also for the dust, and but still effect is our life span for a mask. Okay. I think that's all for my presentation today about the how the COVID-19 affect in the e-commerce. And even though I just go for the rough the basic data and the basic sharing, how the US, Germany, and the Korea effect, and I try to compare with how the our Asia Pacific country. So I hope the participant can get a benefit from my sharing today. So I pass the session to the moderator. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Zalina. That was a very interesting presentation. So we just learned about the impact of COVID-19 to the e-commerce. So we can see from her presentations that the e-commerce had been increasing, all over the world. Well, that is good and bad, because it perhaps it is good because that people can have an access to all products to any other countries, and that people can meet, like us now, even though we are in a different countries, but we are meeting in a Zoom meeting right now. So there was a very good presentation, Prof. Zalina, and we will have question and answers later, okay? After all the 3 speakers had been presented their presentation, so we will have the questions and answers. So thank you very much for your sharing, Prof. Zalina. Now, we come to our second speaker, Fandi Ciptono, holds a PhD in marketing from the University of New South Wales, Australia, and is a senior lecturer at the School of Marketing and International Business, Victoria University of Wellington. He completed his Master of Commerce in Marketing at the University of New South Wales, Australia, and Bachelor of Economics in Management from University of Gajah Mada, Indonesia. Before joining VUW, he worked at Monash University, Malaysia, and University of Atmajaya, Yogyakarta, Indonesia. He has more than 25 years of marketing teaching experience at both undergraduate and graduate levels at several universities in Indonesia, Australia, Malaysia, and New Zealand. His primary research interests are consumer behavior and marketing practices in emerging markets, consumer ethics, corporate and consumer social responsibility, and brand management. His work has been published in several top journals, including Journal of Business Ethics, European Journal of Marketing, Psychology on Marketing, Journal of Travel and Tourism Marketing, Journal of Business Venturing Insights, International Journal of Consumer Studies, Marketing Intelligence and Planning, Internet Research, Journal of Cleaner Production, Asia Pacific Journal of Marketing and Logistics, and Journal of Retailing and Consumer Services. His more than 12 years of consulting experience covers a wide range of industries such as FMCG, publishing, telecommunication, and banking. During his academic career, he has served in various leadership and administrative roles at the university, faculty, and department levels. We have a very prominent speaker, so please welcome Mr. Fandi Ciptono. The time is yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Can you see my slide?
Yes, sir. It's good.
Okay. Kia ora, good morning, everyone. Thank you for having me, dear the organizers and participants of the second conference of ICOBUSS. What I would like to share with you today is my topic about technology in relation to market shaping strategies and business survival and growth during the pandemic. So the structure of my presentation, I would like to divide my presentation into three interrelated sections. First is a very important intersection between technology and marketing, and then how these intersection affects what we call market shaping strategy, especially during crisis. And one of my interests is about understanding business survival and how to grow even during a crisis or difficult time. So hopefully I have enough time to cover these things, including I give a brief sneak peek, or I would like to share the findings of one of my research projects currently completed. At the end of the presentation, I will come up with some concluding remarks. So briefly for introduction, all of us, we know that technology plays an important role for business and also for our daily life. During the economic crisis due to COVID-19, for instance, we have seen that technology adoption has helped us surviving and also coping with all the challenges. A research by IFC, for instance, shows some examples about online healthcare, blockchain, robots, online education everywhere, and then also technologies like robotics, 3D printing technologies in managing social or physical distancing in manufacturing plants, including in emerging markets. And another issue is the role of technology in the form of digital transformation in helping firms or organizations to survive or to grow, as well as to avoid sayonara. I call it 3 S's, right? 3 S. First S is survival, and then supremacy, sayonara if we can't cope with the challenges. Now, everybody complain about COVID-19. Yes, we have seen that so many reports about business that have had closed down. However, the effect of COVID-19 is not uniform across business sectors. One thing that we would like to highlight here, according to one interesting paper published in Journal of Business Research, it is extremely difficult to estimate the long-term effects of the pandemic because we don't have enough understanding or data. However, what we can see, many businesses did not survive, but it's not for everyone. Some businesses are actually experiencing unprecedented growth. We can have a look across some examples. Online communication, for instance, online entertainment, online shopping. See the characteristics. Those companies that can survive, not only survive, but actually they also grow during this difficult time. They adopted technology in some ways or degrees. Now, we have seen that due to COVID-19, so don't worry about the details because I will share the slides after today's schedule. So we can see that the effects of COVID-19 to several stakeholders, let's say for businesses and individuals, so many things like increased cost of operations because of lockdown, social distancing, things like that. And how technology adoption have been used, for instance, for business, for digitalization of business operations. then the specific technologies that we can see, they are like we can see a wide range of specific examples of technologies being adopted across countries within emerging market contexts. Now, for individuals, similar, and then also we see how technology has helped during COVID-19 for government to trace, for instance, the COVID-19 pandemic, and also how to distribute social expenditure, social support to the public. And for society in general, technology again has played significant role. Now, just to give a brief example here, I refer to a finding of a study recently about the effects of technology use during this difficult time. For the pluses and negatives or minuses, we can see, let's say, for instance, for healthcare, education, and for telework, or what we call work from home. Technology has helped us to, let's say, better improve patient outcomes for healthcare sectors, reduce the spread of the virus, distinguish COVID-19 from other symptoms. For education, like what we are doing now with the Zoom technology, we can have this wonderful opportunity to be at the same time, even though we are physically at different places. However, we also see like some issues, of course, like reduce some impact on economy, some problems where people find that no longer we find there is a significant difference between working or staying at home, your time for privacy, and also for public, like for work. Now, this is just an example of the role of technology in general during COVID-19 and also for business. Also, we can see specific technologies. The specific technologies that we call disruptive innovation technologies, there are several specific technologies that have been predicted to grow faster in the next decade. So for instance, here ARK Invest in their latest publication, they estimated that technologies like AI, artificial intelligence, robotics, for instance, autonomous mobility, these are the technologies that are growing faster during the last couple of years here. Okay, now I would touch on the intersection between technology and marketing more specifically. Now, a closer look at how the future technology in marketing will look like. At least we can see there are 6 key themes where technology can help or can influence marketing practices. First, especially in the health technology sector, very useful to help the interaction between the service providers and also the patients and also any kind of treatment. And then we can see that the second one here is AI, artificial intelligence and robotics in banking sector, retailing, tourism, in education and restaurants, some other related sectors. At least AI and robotics have been used for automating business processes, gaining insights through data analysis, and also engaging with customers and employees. So in marketing field, at least, this is a growing topic of research for everyone now, because we are today, we are here for the conference. I think this is an area to explore, to better understand how we can utilize technology to help the marketing practices. And then we have dark web and chatbots, okay? There is what we call personalization privacy paradox, where people want to protect their private information or private data. However, on the other hand, the challenge with the use of technology is always about security and privacy. Now, the next technology is everything about mobile and social. We can't stay away from our mobile phones. That is the reason why it is called smartphone, right? And then in-store technology, all about what the previous speaker mentioned about online business or e-commerce. And then last but not least is legacy technology. What about the existing firms? It seems that everybody knows that technology is so important, but why in reality not many companies can successfully adopt and implement and integrate technology in their strategy? One of the reasons, according to the latest research, is that not everyone, not every firm has the so-called digital customer orientation. What people may forget is that technology is one thing, understanding consumer behavior and link them is another challenge. So these 6 themes will lead to the practices of implementation. There are 4 boxes here. The top 2 represent the benefits of technology, big data analytics to better understand consumer needs, wants, and specific preferences. At the same time, to design customer experience management, because we would like to serve our customers better than our competitors. However, we have 2 challenges to overcome: security and privacy. If we can do this, the results, as we would expect, would be customer satisfaction and loyalty as the key indicator, profitability for the firm, for employee well-being, and hopefully, at the end of the day, sustainable business ecosystem. That's what we see from technology and marketing. Earlier, I mentioned about consumers. What about consumers? How important is technology? Now, when we look at consumer trends or consumer behavior, a recent study being released by Euromonitor early this year, beginning of this year, they highlighted top 10 global consumer trends. I don't want to go through detail of these, trends because I don't think we have enough time. But the key thing is, look at the 10 trends here, and we can sense that most of them are all about technology, backup planners. See, early of the pandemic, we had what we call hoarding behavior or panic buying. Now people learn how to have backup, what to buy for stock, and then how to do contactless order or transaction. It's all using technology, at least using smartphones and apps, right? And then let's say another one, digital seniors. The name is already showing what it's all about. Traditionally, people accuse or people assume that seniors are one of the segments that have reluctance to switch to technology. But now, with all kind of limitations, restrictions due to COVID-19, people learned about the technology adoption faster than before. Now, people are used to do order products online from different age groups and use social media, for instance. Financial, what I call aficionados, for instance, here. For money management, people are more knowledgeable and enthusiastic in managing their money using apps, for instance. And last but not least, if you see the metaverse movement in game entertainment, retailing, virtual 3D spaces, when the virtual and physical worlds have intersections there. So these are the consumer trends showing that technology is also important for consumers. So now we have consumers, companies, firms, and technology and marketing, how they are interrelated. Now, how we can use this kind of insight for marketing strategy. This is because my background is from marketing, right? Now, traditionally in marketing discipline, the way we define the word market, we always refer to a broad definition that market is a group of potential and actual consumers who have needs, wants, and purchasing power. I would like to move beyond that, where if we adopt a macro marketing perspective of what we call market, market is essentially a complex, adaptive, socio-technical material systems consisting of institutions, actors including firms, also like other stakeholders like customers, practices and discourses that organize the exchange. So, if we understand market from this broader perspective, then we can see one important implication, how to shape the market. During COVID-19 pandemic, and now we are still in the how many waves already now, because of we have Delta, we have Omicron, and we don't know what's next, right? Hopefully that this is enough already with Omicron. Now, with all the disruptions caused by the crisis, we think about how the market will work in terms of interactions between key players. Now, market shaping is a deliberate shaping of by firms and other actors of the behavior, structures, expectations, and practices. A simple example is when we talk about e-commerce, it's kind of changing the structure of the market somehow, somewhere, and sometime. Now, I would like to show this example. This is important market shaping strategies. How to react, how to navigate a crisis. That will lead to my research, which I would like to share soon after this. Right? When we understand that technology is important for firms, for government, and also for consumers, and how we can utilize that, the best way to understand that is to look at the examples, isn't it? Theoretically, we can have 4 types of market shaping strategies using 2 dimensions. Market shaping intention, whether defensive or offensive. And then we have stable market configuration or unstable. So we have market reduction, maintenance, widening, disruption. Or more specifically, see, we have a detail here. I just want to highlight one thing. No matter what specific strategies we decide to choose or to implement, technology plays an important role there. So for instance, market disruption, if we want to create a new market, you see from examples during pandemic, some smart, creative service providers or marketers, they came up with excellent ideas which have potentials to create new markets. So let's say business model innovation. We need technology here to drive the changes, isn't it? Market widening for market growth, or here, market resilience, survival. This is the concern for many companies, many organizations during the pandemic, right? So what we see here from the detailed examples of the strategies, majority of them need the integration of technology and marketing strategy. Now, I would like to share my examples here. My colleagues in Malaysia and Indonesia and myself, we work together to better understand, because we started with the question of everybody, or most reports talk about negative situations. How many hotels have closed here in Malaysia, in Indonesia, and almost everywhere on any industries. So we started a study, very simple one. We just focus on hotel industry. So we would like to see and evaluate how does the hotel industry in the 2 countries adjust their business strategies to survive and grow during the COVID-19 pandemic. We decided to take a slightly unusual research approach because people tend to use in interviews, case studies with a number of companies or hotels, for instance, or doing survey. For us, we thought that we would like to know about the industry a bit more detail. That's why we took a different approach. Here we took a historical research method using archival data. So we tried to narrow down. Initially we started with tourism and hospitality, but we found that too broad, and then this type of research is time consuming and also labor intensive. So we started with a small one. Okay, we spent time to look at those published accessible sources and have a look, and then we decided, okay, start with hotels. We had enough data about hotel. So the research context is hotels in Malaysia and Indonesia. We used historical method following Golder 2000. We used publicly available and accessible daily newspapers, printed version and online, both in English and Bahasa Indonesia, especially those published in Indonesia. We chose the time period of the early stages of the pandemic, February until December 2020. So we divided, we split our work, and then we always look at those sources. Like, let's say we had one news, we have two people to read, to categorize on the same news, to put them into a nice interpretation. So to cut the long story short, we use newspapers. Here is the list: Kompas, Business Indonesia, Media Indonesia, Investor Daily, some of them in Bahasa Indonesia and also in English. In Malaysia, we have the list of newspapers. Then we use systematic content analysis. Now I would like to jump to what we found. In our understanding, our interpretation of so many news about hotels, what happened to the hotel industry during the time, how they responded, what they did, okay? We categorize 4 big themes of the strategy. We link back to the theory. So we categorize them into cost-based strategies, product or service-based strategies, market-based strategies, and community-based strategies. Okay? The work has been under review now. It's already, I think, the last stage of publication for a book chapter. Okay? Now, quick look at the strategy. The first one, cost-based strategy. We expect that when a firm is in a difficult situation, this is always being considered by most companies. They focus on improving efficiency, the survival, by cutting expenditures, providing discounts to increase the sales, and some degree they are scaling down the operation. So cost cutting for hotels, for instance, they try to save electricity, reducing the use of elevators or lifts, AC or aircon, laundry machines, and Videotron services. Some hotels, they also replace the breakfast buffet with room service breakfast, and some other actions here, more detail. This is the beauty of doing archival study, because we can have so many detailed practices. The second one is price adjustment. Some unique or interesting examples, for instance, in Penang, a hotel sold some food from the restaurant, restaurants, on the food path, only 3 ringgit. Or a big name in Bali, for instance, reduced the price significantly from something about 1 million rupiah per night before COVID-19 becomes around 1.4 to 2.6 million per month, not per night. So this was done to survive the difficult time. Book now, stay later promotion, and some other actions like downsizing, etc. These are examples of what we call cost-based strategies. Now, another strategy is product or service-based strategies. Even though many hotels were in difficult times, it didn't stop them to innovate, because when you are under pressure, you are pushed to the limit, you have to do something to find ways to fight back, right? Now, what they have been doing, repackaging the current products or services, extending their core competences, and shifting. This is the way we see how technology or digital transformation has been adopted in one of the sectors. In this case is hotel industry. I would like to show that. So product or service repackaging, we can see like self-isolation, following the protocols or bundling strategies. But an interesting one is like here, extending core competence. I can show you a very interesting example. For instance, some hotels in Malaysia, they offered home cleaning or grass cutting services to customers. So they try to find ways to utilize what they have been doing or they have, okay? In Indonesia, also home delivery for hotel laundry services, catering services, drive-through wedding, drive-through graduation services. This is also an interesting example of technology being implemented. Not to mention contactless and seamless experiences using different types of apps and mobile technologies, including digital payment. Now, market-based strategies, the third strategy, keep looking for new market segments. Because of the closure of most airports, no international tourists, they rely on domestic tourists. With regional lockdowns, with physical distancing, some interesting ideas have emerged. For instance, as we know, staycation, honeymoon packages, or some hotels that target university students and office workers who don't have good internet connections at home, so they can do work from home or study from home. Now they also got what they call work from hotel. And an interesting example from restaurant hotel in Bali is camping on the ground. Okay. Now I would like to highlight one thing. The first three examples of the strategies, they are very marketing related strategies, right? For survival. But we found that during the difficult time, the pandemic, the crisis, many hotels, they came up with, or they have demonstrated what we call altruistic behavior. It didn't stop them from doing good to the community. So we categorize these strategies under the category what we call community-based strategies. So some hotels provided free and cheap accommodation for medical staff, for instance, fighting for COVID-19 pandemic, delivered packed meals and drinks, and also ready-to-eat meals to hospital staff. So some news here you can see, for instance, an example from the Star, how the hotels fight or help out to the society. Now, to conclude my brief presentation, in essence, business strategy is about how to do business and how to compete effectively. To survive or to navigate the crisis, there are two important elements. One is innovation, which may include involve technology, and flexibility. The typology of strategies that we identified, all of them are related to survival and growth strategies. Cost-based strategies focus on survival. Product and market-based strategies, on one hand, they facilitate survival. On the other hand, they can provide potential growth for the future, post-pandemic, for instance. And last but not least, community-based strategies provide potential favorable long-term image and relationships with the key stakeholders. So, to conclude, technology plays a strategic role in the implementation of market-shaping strategy by widening or expanding, creating, and maintaining the market. Thank you very much. I pass it back to the moderator.
Very good. Thank you very much, Mr. Fandi Ciptono. That was a very interesting presentations and give us a very good insight how to actually adapt during this COVID-19 pandemics. So he also mentions about the disruptive innovation technologies. So we have one, health technology, AI and robotics, dark web and chatbots, mobile and social, in-store technology, or the e-commerce. And the sixth is legacy in technology. So to conclude that we have to be innovative and to be flexible in order for the businesses to survive during this COVID-19 pandemics. So there was a very interesting presentations, Mr. Fandi. Thank you very much. And for those of you who have questions, you can use the chat room to put your questions, or you can also use the camera, you know, in our Zoom meeting. When all the speakers have finished their presentations, we can have the questions and answers. Now, we come to our third speakers from Thailand, and her name is Assistant Professor Chitchanok Anantamongkolkul, or we can call her Nan. So I would like to introduce her. Nan is currently an assistant professor in Department of Tourism and Hospitality Business Management of Faculty of Management Sciences at Phuket Ratchabat University, Thailand. She is the head of the Tourism Business Management major. She received her PhD in tourism from Griffith University, Australia. Her research area of interest include tourist behavior and tourism marketing. Nan also an ad hoc reviewer for Q1 Scopus Index, Tourism Journal, include current issue in tourism. She is also a speaker in International Tourism Conference and a guest lectures. So we would like to welcome Nan. Please, the time is yours.
Thank you very much, Dr. Utomo. Let me share my screen. All right. Are you able to see my screen now?
Yes, it's good. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. Dr. Noor, the ICOBUSS Conference Committee, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I believe during the first two speakers, we have given lots of fruitful information regarding the opportunity post-COVID-19. We start from e-commerce, and then we move to the session from Dr. Fandi, who talked about the technology adoption, and in his presentation, he talked a little bit about consumer behavior, which referred to the digital senior market as well, according to the Euromonitor International statistics. In my presentation, we will touch on more on the market, tourism market segment. In this presentation, I will look at the tourism opportunity post-COVID-19, and I will use the senior tourism market in Thailand as a context of the presentation. So, why elderly people? Why senior population? If you come up with some key facts from either UN, United Nations, or the World Health Organization, first of all, UN define older persons as those who age 60 years old and over. Sometimes, for many occasions, elderly population can also refer to those who are 65 years old and over. From the statistic, we can see that people around the world now they live longer, and then most people can expect to live into their 60s and beyond. So from the statistics from UN and the WHO, between 2015 and 2050, the proportion of the world population over 60 years old will nearly double from 12% to 22%. In Thailand, we can see the numbers of this percent increase from 10.1% in 2019 to 21.1% in 2015, according to the stat as well. And you know what? This is even more numbers of percent in Indonesia. From the statistic, I can see that in 2019, the number of the elderly population in Indonesia was 19.2%, and it is expected to be 35.8% in 2015. So this is why senior population will be one of the lucrative tourist market for the tourism industry around the world. If you see from the screen on my presentation, you see that these people is actually, one fact is that these people is my family members. My grandmother, my mother, my aunties, my uncle-in-law, my aunt-in-law. They are over 60 years old, and they love travel very much. Before COVID-19, they spend some time for taking vacation like in overseas every year. During these past 3 years, they have to stay at home completely because of the COVID-19. But now, they are really keen to go back to their preferred destination again. Either can be like domestic vacation or the overseas vacation. I believe this truth also occurred in your family as well. So welcome to my presentation. In this presentation, I will divide the presentation outline into 3 key sections. The first one will look at the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic to the Thai tourism. And then we will move to the opportunity of senior tourism in Thailand. And then we will finish up the presentation with the getting a better understanding of the senior tourist behavior from my own research projects. So let us move to the first one. Of course, in this presentation, I'm not going to talk about the negative effects of COVID-19 that's happening to us all around the world, because we all already know that. We know what something bad that happened for us during COVID-19. In this presentation, I will rather look at the positive, at least a few positive impacts on COVID-19 that happening to the Thai tourism industry in particular. So the first one. Some of you that have already visited Phuket, you will see that before COVID-19 pandemic, the beach in Phuket or anywhere in Thailand, the natural attractions, the nature, the forest, anywhere across Thailand wasn't this beautiful. But the truth is that only a few weeks of temporarily shut down the provinces, the destination, or shut down Thailand, only a few weeks, the beach that close to my house now, I'm in Phuket, the beach that close to my house become more pristine again. So we are now can say that an island in Phuket, the beach in Phuket, is one of the most beautiful island destination in the world again. So basically, I would like to say that during the shutting down our destination, this is the time that our nature, the natural attractions, can rest. This is the rejuvenating time for them. So now they are ready to welcome the tourists back. This is one positive thing that explicitly evident during COVID-19. The second one, during COVID-19, we, the tourism business staff or the Tourism Authority of Thailand, can have a time to think about how would we do in the future to get the travelers back in the country. So basically, during COVID-19 is the point of time that in Thailand we utilize very much on innovation that mentioned by the Dr. Fendi of just now into tourism. There are a number of the explicit evidences of innovation developed during the past 3 years. The first one, if you see here, if you happen to come to Thailand already during after COVID-19, you might familiar with this certificate. This is CHA Plus. This is the certificate identify health, safety and health administration regulation that initiated by the Tourism Authority of Thailand together with the Ministry of Public Health. If you in the organization, tourism hospitality industry, follow the certain regulation, for example, doing the temperature check, doing social distancing, keeping clean and hygienic in your organization, then you will receive the CHA certificate. In this plus sign, this is add-on probably last year to identify that if you have this plus sign, you will guarantee to your customers, to the consumers, visitors that yes, the employees in my organization, at least 70% already fully vaccinated. Even now, a few months ago, the Tourism Authority of Thailand even add another plus sign, so it is CHA plus plus or CHA extra plus. If your organization happen to have this CHA plus plus, that means the hotel or accommodation or the tourism businesses already partnership with certified hospital. So that is even more hygienic organization for welcome back the tourism. Okay. Besides this CHA Plus side, we also have the Thailand Pass system, which is the web-based system for both Thai and the international travelers to fill in their potential travels and health information before arriving in Thailand. If your information is approvable, you will receive the QR code, and this QR code you will use upon arrival. So basically, if you register into the Thailand Pass system, you will spend less time than normal in the port of call or the airport. Just the matter of time and ease convenient for your trip to Thailand. Besides this CHA Plus, Thailand Pass, we also have the, we can see that during COVID-19, Tourism Authority of Thailand support, promoted, encouraged very much for the IT developers or the innovation, technology, digital startup business to launch the startup applications for the tourism personnel. So basically we call tourism startup applications. Before COVID-19, we rely pretty much on the startup that the applications that developed from international countries. For example, Airbnb that initiated by the US young people, and we use very much on the Traveloka app that I believe it is originated from Indonesian company, right? But during COVID-19, Thai government support a lot, promote a lot, and funding a lot for the tourism startup business. So during these past 3 years, we have we have a number of the applications regarding tourism businesses. For example, we have our Thai bond application regarding the ticket reservation, the application that act as the media for the transfer information between tourism businesses and the potential customers. We also have the applications for helping the customers to decide the vacation and for the tour guiding services as well. This is some innovative and positive things that are happening during COVID-19 for the tourism business survival. And last one that I have to mention here, for the Thai government, during COVID-19 situation, the Thai government, especially the Tourism Authority of Thailand, has launched the new normal practice for the Thai tourism industry that we call BEST. This BEST stands for booking in advance. So we kind of like want to focus more on the tourism carrying capacity and looking more to practice on the social distancing while you are traveling. So please booking in advance. And then we keen very much for the environmental enthusiasm. And then, yes, of course, after health pandemic, please safety comes first, especially the safety in relation to health and hygiene. And then, yes, of course, technology enhanced tourist experience. This is aligned with the travel tech startup business that the Thai government really encourage the IT business a lot. So this is a few positive things that we are explicitly seeing during COVID-19. So let's come back to the tourism industry in Thailand. This year, 2022, the Thai government already set up 3 key scenarios for the tourism target for us this year. If we are in the best case, we try to get the tourism revenue at least 1.9 trillion. In the worst one, we hope to get 1.3 trillion baht. Baht is the Thai currency. But in the normal situation, we hope to see the number of total revenue as 1.6 trillion baht. But now we're not sure due to the war, the pandemic, the Omicron, right? So we hope to get at least the best case for the 2022 tourism targets for the Thai tourism industry. So how we get there? The Thai government, especially Tourism Authority of Thailand and the Ministry of the Tourism and Sport, support and encourage very much on the alternative tourism. For example, health tourism, community-based tourism, as well as MICE tourism. If you already visited Thailand, you will see that actually Thai destination provide a lot of types of the alternative tourism. Not only these 3 is in my presentation, in my example, we also have sport tourism. You can come to Thailand for the marine tourism, like you can come to Thailand for diving. This is the alternative tourism as well. Besides alternative tourism scheme, the Thai National Tourism Development Plan, which is the correct version, try to promote Thailand as ASEAN tourism hub. So basically, if you want to go to Indonesia, if you come from European countries, please drop by Thailand for like certain length of stay before flying to the Surabaya, for example. This is promoting Thailand as the ASEAN tourism hub. And last one, how we get there. The Thai government proposed to reconnect foundation for the tourism infrastructure in particular. For example, they try to improve and redevelop the basic tourism infrastructure for all tourists, including senior family tourism, and now they initiated the health path for tourism as well. So from this, who are our target markets? Of course, we want to get away from mass tourists. It doesn't mean we will ignore or we will avoid mass tourist scheme, but we try to get more on the quality tourist market. That I'm sorry that this picture is in Thai, but basically quality tourists, after reopening the destination of Thailand, we refer to those wealthy global citizens, wealthy pensioners, work from Thailand professional, like you will stay in Thailand for some certain long stay period and work from here. This is the scheme that the Thai tourism government want to attract on. And last one, high skilled professional as well. From this quality tourist market, come to my presentation again. One of our key target market will be senior travelers, will be senior tourists, or if you stay long enough, then you will be categorized as expat or expatriate. Okay, this is one of the most attractive key tourist market for the Thai tourism industry after the reopening Thailand to the world. All right. Now, let's us move to the second section of my presentation. We will look at the opportunity of the senior tourism in Thailand. Recently, not long ago, 2022 annual global retirement index already proposed that Thailand ranked number 11 among countries worldwide for foreigners to retire. In Russia, we are number 1 in Russia. That is rated the place to live for retiree this year, 2022. So where in Thailand that ranked number 1? From this, Bangkok business dig more deeper into detail. The first place in Russia, in Thailand, as well as in Russia, that ranked is the first place to live for retiree after their retirement. This is the beach, one of the famous beach, not in Phuket, but in the neighboring city of Phuket, which is in Krabi. The first one is in Greece, the second one Portugal, Mauritius, Spain. Number 5 is in Thailand, according to the business Bangkok Business Organization. So from these 2 awards, we will guarantee that yes, we have the most opportunity for the senior tourism after their retirement. Now, what we offered. Of course, Thailand is one of the world-class destination for the tourists all kind. So we have unique tourism activities for them, for every market, I can say that. And then one important thing that seniors or family tourists, etc., will concern when we visit some destinations. What if we get sick? If you come to Thailand, that's not a problem. Why? Because we are health tourism destination. Many hospitals in Thailand has been nominated as one of the best medical centers around the globe, in the world. So we are completely able to say that we are health tourism destination. And for the senior travelers, senior tourist market in particular, Thai tourism, Thai government already set up already provide a visa scheme for this particular group of senior tourists that we call retiring visa scheme. If you want to know more about this visa scheme, please go to the Thai government website or Google and look for the OA visa. If you pass the certain criteria, then you will get this retiree visa right away. All right. So what else that we offered? The key one, another key one is the affordability. When I said affordability, it doesn't mean you can stay cheap in Thailand. Cost of living in Thailand is very cheap. I don't mean that. What I mean by affordability is that if you want to stay luxury in Thailand, yes, you can. If you want to stay on your budget, yes, you also can. This is the idea of affordability cost of living in Thailand. For example, from the coach from the expat in Thailand, one of them said that one of the key reasons Thailand is such attractive destination for retirees is because there are different standards of living available. You can live dirt cheap or super expensive in Thailand. This is affordability. Or there are lots of reasons why you may want to retire in Thailand. The cost of living is low, yes, true, as is the cost of healthcare. There is lots to see and do in the country. So this supports my previous slide that we have unique activities for all kinds of tourists. We are having the good healthcare system, and then our low cost of living is affordable. Okay, this map shows the cost of the comfortable retirement in the rest of the Asia and Oceania, and Thailand is one of the destinations mentioned in this photo. All right, so those are opportunities of the tourism regarding senior tourist market in Thailand. Now, what I want to share with you, if we can see opportunity for the senior tourists in Thailand as well as in Indonesia, in your country, what else that we have to know? The key important thing one, the key major understanding that you have to have is their behavior. If you want to attract them, if you want to get a large number of them to visit your destination, to stay in your destination, to spend time, to spend money in your destination, you have to understand their behavior. So let's move to the last section of my presentation, which is the senior tourist behavior. First of all, I'd like you to get at least some ideas about the possible senior tourists. In this presentation, I will look at the long stay senior tourist market. In the tourism literature, we will see a lot of these three types of possible long stay senior tourists. The first one is grey nomad. This is a very popular term used in Australia. These people are example of the senior long stayers in Australia who are aged over 50, 60 years old, traveling independently within Australia for at least like 3 months. They spend a lot of time during those 3 months on the caravan. Just drive caravan across Australia for a couple of months before heading back home. This is the grey nomad. They look for the adventure, freedom, learning, socializing, and revisiting their dreams before the retirement. This is the notion, the idea of the grey nomad senior tourist. The second one is similar type of the grey nomad. This is the most popular senior tourist market in the North America that we call snowbird. What is snowbird? Snowbird is actually market form of the seasonal migrants, senior travelers. These people will escape from their home during winter time and then stay in a destination that is that offer or provide a warmer weather for probably 3 or up to 5 months, predominantly in recreation vehicle and mobile homes, or some destination that can have better weather, a warmer weather. This is the snowbird. Last one, that is my focus. I really focus on when I did some research regarding the senior tourists. I look very much on the long stay tourists. In my research, long stay tourists, for the senior types of people, I refer to those who stay in a certain destination for at least 15 days. Why 15 days? Because in Thai context, the average length of stay is 7 to 10 days for the traditional, for the typical tourists. So I just define 15 days as a cutting point to separate between typical tourists and the long stay tourist market. So why they travel? Why these senior travelers want to travel? What are their travel motivation? First of all, many literature mention the relationship enhancement between with their spouse before retirement. Most of them work can be considered as the workaholic people. So times to catch up, time to improve or socialize with family, with spouse was less. So they have more time after retirement. So this is a time for enhance their relationship with people in the family, including their spouse and children. The second one, why they travel? Because they want to have relaxation after a long period of time as the work in the professionals organization or in their workplace for relaxation. And then they travel because the attractiveness of the destinations itself. For example, natural attractions, historical scenes, cultural seeking knowledge, etc. This is some key senior motivations that we found in the literature. In Thailand, we have any activities that can cover these 3 key of the senior travel motivations. This is basically for the traditional senior tourists. What if they stay longer? What happen if they stay longer? What they look for in particular destination if they stay longer? Just imagine that if you want to visit any countries for a long period of time. For example, if I'm planning to go back to Australia for 3 or 4 weeks, what I have to think about? Yes, during my 3 or 4 weeks, I have to think about the work that I have to catch up with. So I need Wi-Fi connection. What else that we have to think about that? I have to call my mom every night. So yes, Wi-Fi connection. During those 3 or 4 weeks in Australia, what I'm going to do? Any unique long stay activities that I'm going to do? I am going to see whether I'm going to buy the opera ticket to see the opera in the Sydney Harbour. No, I'm not going to do that every week for sure because it's expensive. So what we have to understand them. In my research, this research project has been published in the Journal of Vacation, in the Journal of Tourism Vacation in 2016. If you want to know more information, if you want to know more about the information regarding this one, then please do some research on that paper. In this presentation, I will show you the senior long stay activities that my co-authors and I have found for the unique long stay activities, especially the characteristics. We found that for the long stay activities, if you are senior, you will do less intensive activities. You will try to do only a few activities on your daily basis. Maybe 1 or 2 activities on your daily basis is enough. And the second characteristic is that you will do something simple. You don't have to do the best and the most expensive tourist attractions every day. Rather, perhaps you just go to Starbucks, order 1 cup of coffee, sitting outside Starbucks, watching people. That is very simple for the long stay senior activities. Or maybe you just wandering around, watching people and taking photographs. That's it. And then the next characteristic is the affordability notion. Because you will stay in a destination for a certain period of time, which is longer than normal tourists, typical tourists. So, for some reasons, you will think about your budget. You can't pay any expensive tickets for the tourist type of activities almost every day. You try to look at your accommodation. Somehow, you just do the activities that you can control your budget. This is the third characteristics of the long stay activities. One and most important, another one, and this is the most important one, senior long stay tourist activities will engage with your daily routine. For example, you will keep watching your Indonesian soap opera. You will keep watching your CNN if you are American. You will keep watching the Australian cricket if you are Australian. And then during your time spending your long stay vacation in a certain destination. This is what we found. This is something that we suggest the tourism or the destination policy makers need to understand these unique and the characteristics of the long stay activities. What else that you have to understand? Because of the long stay period of time, one other thing that you as a policy makers need to understand is the notion or the level of the host cultural adaptation. In my research, another research paper, we published this senior long stay acculturation. We found 4 different aspects, 4 different levels of the long stay acculturation, which what we call those who stay in the home comfort zone. If you stay in the home comfort zone, that means you don't want to engage or you don't want to adapt into the Thai culture, if in the case of Thailand, or you don't want to try Indonesian cuisine, for example, if you are in Indonesia. But if you step up a little bit and try to engage with the local culture, then you will be considered as the tourist who try to explore local neighborhoods. If you want to enjoy your host cultural adaptation, then you come to the third step. You are at the third level of the acculturation, which what we call immerse in local environment. You try to learn some local language, for example, try to understand a little bit about Thai languages with different dialects. You try to make friends with the normal Thai, the local Thai people, etc. If you are fully immersed yourself into the Thai culture, then you fall into the fourth step, which is host destination you perceive as your second home. In this step, in this strategy, most of the seniors who fall into this strategy normally are those who keep coming back to Thailand on their daily basis. What I mean by this, they come back to Thailand every year and they treat the Thai destination. For example, if they come to Phuket every year, if they go back to Bangkok every year, then they treat Phuket or Bangkok or Chiang Mai as their second home. So these people, these senior tourists, actually fully, completely immerse themselves into Thai culture. Most of tourists in this strategy, in this level, can speak Thai, at least for easy sentences. This is one thing that I think the destination managers, the travel policy makers need to understand. If you see the opportunity for the senior long stay tourist market to the Thai tourism industry. So that is about my presentation. Before I end this presentation completely, the question I want to leave here is that while senior tourists tend to become familiar with their technology, digital technology, how tourism businesses can adopt digital technology to their senior tourist market as well, besides understanding those behaviors, the unique experiences, the unique activities, or the 4 strategies that senior tourists will engage in due to the acculturation during visiting your country. So how will you adopt the digital technology for your business survival, especially that gonna attract more senior tourists to come back to your country? Thank you very much.
That is great. Thank you very much, Dr. Nan, for very fruitful presentations. So we can say that senior tourists needs to also adapt to the technology, and some of the destinations also have to accommodate their accommodations for the senior tourists. So for example, like in Thailand, there's the Safety and Health Administration that the accommodation must have passed the certification for tourist destinations. And they also have to adapt what they call BESS, which is the new normal of Thai tourism. And B stands for booking in advance, E is for the environmental, and S is for the safety comes first. Obviously that they must concern for the health and hygienic, and T is for technology. All right, so we have listened to 3 speakers, and now we come to the questions and answers. And I would like to check our chat room. The first question is actually, this is the question for Dr. Fandi Ciptono. Dr. Fandi, are you still here?
Yeah.
All right. So I would like to read the question for you, and the question is from Ronnie Kurniawan. I would like to thank you to Mr. Fandi for the presentations, and I have questions. So we agree that IT or technology is best tool that enterprises can be used to survive during COVID-19. But we should have business strategy to implement it to meet business goals. What do you think about it? With or without COVID-19 pandemic, do you think digital transformation is the best tool for the business competition nowadays? So that is also related to other questions. Actually, just one moment. Well, other questions also for Dr. Fandi. This is from Juni Gultom. Thank you for a good presentation. I have one question for you. What do you think about transnational crimes that have not been fully handled? I am Juni Gultom from Central Borneo. Okay, so we have a questions from Central Borneo. Yeah, I think that is the two questions for you, and we will try to find another one for you. So please go ahead and try to answer those two questions first, Dr. Fandi.
Okay, cool, thanks. Yeah. Very good question from two participants. The first question is about, I think like whether we have experienced pandemic or not, the reality is that technology will stay there. So because like the technology, as I explained earlier, can be used for many purposes. When we talk about business, at least we can use that for three main purposes. First is to help or facilitate better business processes for some points, right? And second is to gain insights about consumers, about competition, about environments through data analytics. So for research purpose. And the third one, this is very important, to engage with customers and also with employees. We see that like point of contact with using technology, let's say, take for instance, social media, can provide us very quick, real-time responses and also two-way communications. So that will help businesses with or without COVID-19. So for the second question, from, I'm interested in that one because introduce himself as someone from Central Borneo. I'm from North Borneo actually. I was born in Tarakan, an island. Used to be part of Eastern Borneo, now independent as it's split into a new province, North Borneo. So the question is very interesting. We talk about transnational crimes. This is very challenging, especially when we talk about digital world or online. Just recently, last night, I read a case here in New Zealand. There was a case about NFT, maybe people are very familiar with that one, non-fungible tokens, where people try to develop software, things like that. But when the person could not deliver, while in fact already collected money around $104 million, now is the issue. How to ask for the responsibility, how to protect like those relevant parties. I think this is one of the biggest issues, the challenge, as you name it correctly, transnational crimes. It needs integration between countries. So it's no longer an issue for businesses only, but it needs coordination and also intervention from relevant parties like the governments. Otherwise, it will create so many issues about tax, about refund, about like how to sue like those who did not fulfill their promises. I think that is the challenge, and we can expect that people will work towards that. I think. Did I answer the questions?
Yep. That is a very good answer actually, but we also have another questions that is related to the previous questions. I'm just going to, since you are here, so the question is from Yudi Kurniawan. Good morning, honorable speakers. I couldn't agree more from Professor J. Salina and Mr. Fandi, PhD, about the effect of this pandemic to the life that we are driving now. My question is, are there any data of how these technologies tool will sustain after we live with this virus or the new normal life, and how do the offline markets will be ahead. So yeah, so basically the question is, how will the offline market survive? Is that that's probably in short. So please, could you answer that question, Dr. Fandi?
Yeah. Because I believe that there are two elements of the question, right? The first one about whether tools that can live even longer after the pandemic, right? Earlier in my presentation, I showed one prediction from a consulting firm about emerging technologies, disruptive technologies for the next decade, right? But they also put the note in their report saying that there is no way we can have a crystal, a ball that we can predict for everything for the future. But at least there are signs that technologies like AI, robotics, for instance, will stay even longer for helping like customers for, like say, when we talk about tourism, virtual tourism has been facilitated by augmented reality, virtual reality, things like that. Now, the second question is also interesting. What about the offline market? Now, from consumer behavior perspective, for instance, this is a very, very good question. Do we think that consumer habits after the pandemic, being locked down for some time, learn about online new environment, will we go back to all habits, or all habits will be gone, or some sort of like adaptation? Some reports indicate that obviously there would be, the safe way to see that is there will be a more defined habit. Internet or online one will stay. Of course, we have been exposed to something new, like with all the e-commerce, or let's say in education. At my uni, for instance, we acknowledge that now with the digital one, with the online lecture, dual delivery, students and staff who have already experienced the beauty plus the negative sides of having online education, at least we treat that as an option. We know that here we are lucky enough because we had longer time to have face-to-face classes. Only recently with the Omicron, now we go back to online, right? Or dual delivery. But past years, mostly face-to-face. But when we came back to face-to-face, we can see that some segments, some students, they love to go to the uni having socialization. I suspect the same with like shopping centers, because there are some elements, especially in Asia, Malaysia, Indonesia, Thailand, we have similarities. We like socialization. We go shopping, not only like here in Kiwi, in New Zealand. People go shopping, they have a shopping list like Australians. So when I go to the malls, I have 10 items to buy. Once I finish, complete 10, check out, go home. Different from, I think, Malaysia, I know so well. When I went to some big malls there, after, we like to do window shopping and then go to the food court, watching movies, things like that. So probably not 100% will be gone. There would be some new behavior, at the same time modified behavior. That's just for me. I think other speakers can add on some points. Thank you.
Yes. All right, that's a very good answer from you, Dr. Fandi. One more actually question for you, so we can go to the next speaker. So this you're very popular. This is from Hari Wahyudi. Mr. Fandi, I have a question: what specific different strategy in marketing sector, public or government, and marketing private sector? Thank you. It's from PPSDM Jatim Corporate University. So
thank you. Excellent.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so
excellent question.
Yes, thank you.
Because when we talk about the public sector or government sector strategy, the focus of the strategy would be on public service, right? It's all about facilitating speedy services for the sake of the public, where, of course, when we talk about for the private sector, cost will be one of the key elements to consider. But for government sector, because it's non-profit, in terms of flexibility in the investment, it will be more flexible. And of course, the options and also the things will highlight on some slightly different criteria, like transparency, speed of time, and then make it like available to the widest possible of the public. That's for government. While for private, it depends on the target market that you are serving. Like what Dr. Nan mentioned for senior, like senior tourists. Now I'm thinking about where should I spend my time as a senior, like tourist. Like now, I love Indonesia. I love Malaysia. I spent 4.5 years there. I love Australia and New Zealand. And now with Thailand, it's also interesting. So can't decide at the moment. Thank you.
All right, good. So are you thinking of retiring at Thailand, right? After Dr. Nan's presentations, because living in Thailand can be very cheap or very expensive, so it depends on you. All right, that's good. So now we have a question for Professor Zalina. This is from Jeziano Rizkita Boyas. Would you like to explain the difference about e-commerce and third-party marketplace? Thank you. Professor Zalina, could you please answer that?
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for the question. Actually, both are online business. The only one, the basic difference between the marketplace and the e-commerce is online platform website owned by and for the marketplace, the online platform, this owner not allowing their third-party sellers to sell on the platform. And the e-commerce, they just sell their products either in a single brand or a multi-brand. The owner sell by themselves in e-commerce. This is a big difference. And whereby in the marketplace, they allow the third party to register as a seller and sell by themselves. This is a main difference. So maybe a marketplace can be an e-commerce, but e-commerce cannot be a marketplace. This is just a general view. So is it answer your question?
All right.
Just a simple answer. Yeah.
Okay, so I think that's a very clear explanations between the difference between the e-commerce and the offline marketplace. So
yeah, the market actually the seller sell by themselves and invoice to direct to the customer.
Right. So for the e-commerce, you need to use the technology, but for the third-party market, you need to touch the customers directly. Right. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Very good. Thank you, Professor Zalina. Now we come to Dr. Nan. We also have a question for you. This is from Widi. The question for Dr. Nan, besides health facilities, what needs to be prepared to develop for senior tourism?
Okay, yes, thank you very much, Widi. Very good morning from Thailand again. That is a very good question. Besides health facilities, that yes, we know that after because of their age, like 60 years old, 65 years old, after their retirement. One key aspect of the senior tourist is about health. Besides health facilities, what else that we need to prepare if we want to attract the senior tourist market or to develop the tourist market? If I will just relate back to my family members when they go to travel somewhere. I believe that one thing that we have to prepare for attract this tourist market is about accommodation. You have to think about the accommodation that are suitable for this group of people. You will need a certain type of toilet, I believe, shower room, etc. And then because the other thing beside this type of accommodation, maybe gonna be well equipped accommodation, especially if you want to attract long stay tourists, as I mentioned earlier in my presentation. You have to understand that they need to engage with their daily routine. The women, the female senior on their long stay activities, on their long stay vacation, they like to cook by themselves for some meals. So well-equipped accommodation, especially the cooking equipment, will be important. Toilet is another thing. And then internet connection will be one of the most important facilities for them nowadays. If someone might say that senior tourists or senior elderly population don't use very much, don't spend time very much on the internet, I would completely disagree on this statement. Nowadays, according to the statistics, they show that senior population now at least 5 or 6 hours a day. They spend time on Facebook. Especially even my grandma, who are already 89 years old last month, know how to use Facebook, know how to video call to her kids, her grandkids. So they are fully adopted digital technology in their daily life. So you need to prepare this for them. This is some basic infrastructure and the accommodation that mentioned in the literature for the facilities or basic infrastructure that destination need to prepare for the attracting senior tourists. I'm not sure whether this is clear for you, but thank you very much.
I think that's quite clear. So it means that for the senior tourists, they also needs to adapt to technology due to this COVID-19. So just as you mentioned that your grandma also need to be they spend most of the time on Facebook, so that's quite different, when there was no COVID, perhaps, for the senior tourists, for the senior people, they might not know, what the digital technology was. So another question for you, Dr. Nan. So this is from Yudi Kurniawan. How does your country overcome the gap problem of this market? As we know how senior tourism or senior people, they commonly categorize as less money tourists and full of risk people on this pandemic, and finally strike to this decision. So,
yes.
All right, go ahead and I hope you understand the question.
Yes. There is another good question. Yes, senior people, elderly population can be commonly categorized as less money tourists. That is true. But on the other side, there are a large number of this population, the elderly population that are wealthy, that we call wealthy pensioners. There are a large number of them. So it doesn't mean these people, these senior people, commonly have less money, but they rather have lots of money after their hard working over the large period of working time. So they collect money to use after their retirement. So when you say senior tourists, is commonly categorized as less money tourists. For some reasons, I disagree with this statement, but it is true. For some point of the, for some certain target market, yes, it's true. But for the large group of people from over the world, they are now wealthy, wealthier than normal. All right. And then for the question of full of risk people on this pandemic, yes. If I relate back to my presentation that I shared just now, if you can think about CHA Plus and CHA Plus Plus and even Thailand Pass that I showed to you, that is the health and safety certificate that we will ensure to the all types of tourist market that we want to attract them, and we come back to revisit Thailand after we reopen the destination. For those CHA Plus or CHA Plus Plus certificate, if the business, hotels, accommodations, restaurant, tourist attraction, or even transportation service business that has put on this CHA Plus sign. So you guarantee that this organization, this business is safe from COVID-19. Why? Because before you get that CHA Plus sign, you have to follow the COVID-19 control guideline. You have to ensure safety and health standards, and you kind of like have to follow the certain criteria that created by the Ministry of Health, Public Health of Thailand. And the other thing is that when you have plus sign in your CHA certificate, you will ensure that the service staff, at least 70% already fully vaccinated. Even now, I can guarantee that 99% of the Thai people already have fully vaccinated. I myself have my 4th shot few months ago already. And then in the tourism employees, 100% of them already fully vaccinated. So we kind of like can be sure that we will take away risks and we ensure the health and safety for the senior travelers. And for those organizations who have CHA Plus, that means that hotels, that accommodation already partnership with certified hospitals. So if things happen, then you have the hospital that you collaborate with. You don't have to wait for a long queue because of COVID-19, etc. So this kind of the something that we want to minimize risk, especially for the risk regarding health that can be happening to our tourist market, including the senior tourism market as well. Yes, thank you very much. I hope I answered this question.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Nan. I think that's quite clear enough. So I actually surprised that you already have your 4th shot, right? So
Yes.
because here in Indonesia, we still have our 3rd shot. and perhaps it will be coming to the 4th shot, but it's still in planning. All right, so that's quite interesting, and I also have a general questions. Perhaps one of the speakers here in the Zoom meeting can answer these questions. This is actually from Teresia Winarti. Good morning. Thank you for good presentation on business services strategy during COVID-19. I'm Teresia Winarti. I'm a Master of Management student at Stasia Surabaya. Technology plays an important to fulfill customer satisfaction. What about rural places, such as like some remote area in Indonesia? Indonesia is so big, consisting of thousands of islands. Many remote places are still finding it difficult to deal with technology. Of course, still many people with limited online access. It is like my hometown in Maumere, East Nusa Tenggara, Indonesia. So how we deal with business service strategy to these customers? Since online strategy businesses only meet people who have a better technology, who have a better knowledge of technology. Thank you. So it's quite long questions, but actually this says about how the remote areas in Indonesia, can use the technology when the internet is very limited. So any one of the speakers can answer this question. So perhaps I I will ask Professor Zalina to answer these questions. Do you have any idea, Professor?
Okay, thank you very much. So I just share maybe my opinion in the, like in Malaysia, we also have a rural area whereby for the time being, even though the government tried to enhance their capability of Wi-Fi and their internet connection, but it's still, even though in that rural area, sometimes previously don't have internet and now have internet, but the people still don't want to utilize this connection, this wireless connection. So I think we can go face by face, and in this issue, I think back to the previous question from participant, that how the offline marketing can survive. So in maybe in this case for the rural area, offline marketing, maybe this is one opportunity to them. And also I want to add from the Dr. Fendi shared previously, the question from previous participant, that about the offline marketing. So like myself, actually for clothes, actually I don't buy online, because for me I prefer to test and fitting. Same goes to the food and beverage. Normally I don't buy online seller. So goes to back to the question for the rural. I think we can go face to face and try to enhance the wireless connection, try to educate them. If in the next phase and the offline marketing must go in. So I think this is for the our South Asia country lah, like Malaysia and Asia Pacific country like Malaysia, Thailand, and Indonesia. I think this can be good. Thank you.
Right.
Just my opinion.
Okay, very good. Thank you for sharing your ideas, Professor Zalina. So I think that the offline business is still sustainable because of some of the rural areas do not have the Wi-Fi coverage. So anything you would like to share about these questions? Any other speakers? Perhaps Dr. Fandi? Yeah.
Okay, I think when we talk about technology, Wi-Fi is not the only technology, like Professor Zalina mentioned. It depends on other types of way, face-to-face or using different technologies. But I would like to share one thing that is about how my university is doing during this time. You know, we know that in Indonesia, Thailand, Malaysia, other Southeast Asian countries, we always complain about the internet access is not equally distributed, right? But we can't assume that countries like New Zealand will be far better. No, we still have the same issues. Here in New Zealand, even though you consider New Zealand as a developed country, internet access is also problematic in some rural areas. And that leads to our strategy when it comes to dual delivery or online delivery. The policy at my university is we do not force students to go for synchronous live streaming lectures and take attendance where they have to participate on time. Because what we consider is we have to make sure that nobody is disadvantaged. We have to give equal opportunity. So universities have offered to students who don't have internet access, we give them even vouchers, or sometimes also some students we lend them laptops to cope with the online. So last 2 years ago, when we entered the first national lockdown, I remember we decided to take some time to make sure everything was ready first before we jump into online education. I remember that time. So we did a survey checking on our staff, our students who have access, who don't have access, before we can go that way. So if I reflect back, that will be one of the strategies to consider when we have different access among our customers. I'm using university as an example. I think that's the thing that I would like to add. Thank you.
All right, that's very great ideas from Dr. Fandi. I think I would agree with that because we need to share the equal opportunity to everyone. All right, so I see one participant raise their hand on the Zoom meeting. So this is by the name of Dewa Ayu. So could you please ask the questions from here, Miss Dewa Ayu? Yes, what is your question?
Assalamualaikum. My name is Dewa Aikarina. I'm from Secretary Local Government Office Java Province. I also a postgraduate student of Management Asia. I'd like to ask Professor Zelina. Good afternoon, Prof. I do really like your presentation. The slides were eye-catching. There is one thing that I'm curious on your presentation about trend before and after pandemic. It was mentioned that three top hike of sales categories were first food and beverages, second is electronic and IT equipment, third is fashion and accessories, and so on. Why does pharmaceutical, hygiene and health not include in those top three? So far that I know, it is one of the biggest concern in this pandemic. People will look for and buy medicine, vitamins, sanitizer, disinfectants, or APD as we know as things to protect ourselves like masks, hazmat and gloves. My question is, what is the parameters of this measurements take from? Maybe you can explain why is pharmaceutical, hygiene and health not include in those three top high? Because I'm sure that the percentage itself is also jump up since we got into and stuck in this pandemic. Please kindly to correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes, you are true. Actually, the data is from the September 2019. So we compile the data, and maybe this is the general data, but we get from the valid journal. So you asked about the why the medicine not included in the top three.
Yes, why the pharmaceutical, hygiene and health that I see from your slide.
I think maybe from this material for the pharmacies product, the data is from, like I mentioned previous, September 2019 not affected yet for the COVID-19. So we compare the data from the September 2019. So if the latest data, of course, this pharmacist product will be on top three in the current situation. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof.
All right.
All right. Thank you very much, Professor Zelina. Is there any other questions from participants? Any other one who would like to raise their hand? So this is a very fruitful conversations among the scholars of our speakers today. I just want to read one of the questions before we conclude our Q&A. This is the question for Dr. Fandi actually, and this is from Mr. Richard Daus Mugo, Polytechnic Cristo Maumere. Mr. Fandi, thank you for the presentation. Recently, I read the statement of Mr. George Westerman, a senior lecturer at MIT Sloan. He said, unless organization change, the technology really does nothing for the business. Digital transformation, according to him, is less of digital problem than it is a transformation problem. How is your comments about this?
Okay, thank you. That is a very interesting comment, like in the publication. Yes, it depends on how we see the scope of the so-called digital transformation, right? Because technology itself can be seen as hardware, software applications, and solutions. But technology cannot stand alone. It needs brainware and other supporting, infrastructures. So I agree to the point that if we only take technology as a tool without changing the business model or business paradigm or how we put that or integrate that into our ways of doing business, that might not work well. A very good example for that one is whether organizations should consider having both offline and offline or only one of them, or how to integrate them together. What is that?
I'm sorry.
No worries.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So it depends on how we see that. But I agree that transformation, the word transformation needs to change unless we really change the way we do that, because we have to acknowledge that the way we do business with the technology and without the technology can be very, very different. As I refer back to education, for instance, we know that teaching online and teaching offline is so different, right? As lecturers, we go online with the Zoom, you have 100 students all switch off their camera. You are talking to the screen, looking at yourself. You try to make jokes and nobody laughs, and then you feel like, am I crazy here or what?
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, that's why. And then also we assume that students are independent and also self-disciplined. This is the challenge. Because some students ask for recordings. Yes, we assume that we record all the lectures, upload that on Moodle or Blackboard, and students will watch, spend time, and be disciplined. However, it doesn't work all the time, isn't it? And that's why I agree to that statement. Unless we really make significant changes, then we can reach the so-called transformation. Otherwise, still somewhere in between. That's my comment.
All right. Thanks. Thank you very much, Dr. Fandi. I would like to give one more opportunity. There's one person raising his hand. His name is Agus Hockey. So please, would you like to share your question?
Hello, thank you for the chance to be able to ask a question here. Thank you so much for all speakers for the great presentations. And right now I would like, it's not particularly to any of the question for any of the speaker, but I would like to ask probably for Dr. Nan and also Dr. Fandi, how do you think that this metaverse will actually affect the future of tourism as well as the marketing world? Thank you. That's my question.
Very good question. So please, would you like to share your ideas, Dr. Nan and Dr. Fandi, or Professor Zalina as well? That's fine. Thank you.
Yes, probably I go first. That is very good and very interesting question. Yes, the application or the metaverse technology, that is the very interesting application or innovation for the tourism industry. My current research, I will adopt this application into the tourism destination. I try to look at how this is just only a plan. I try to use this application to attract more potential travelers to travel to a certain place that we want to propose them as the community-based tourism destination. And then the first phase of the project, we will use this metaverse to what should I call, to create the world of this area destination. and I will launch this metaverse application to the world. And then on YouTube, maybe, I don't know yet, but we will use this metaverse, and then we see the opportunity to use metaverse as a tool for the tourism industry in the near future. This is my answer.
All right, would you like to add anything else, Dr. Fandi?
Oh, okay. Metaverse, as I said earlier in one of my slides, is a trend for the future. In tourism, when we look at tourism as a big sector, it has so many sectors like accommodation, transportation, things like that. But one of the leading subsector of tourism and hospitality that has adopted this technology is museums. You can see so many museums all around the world, in Taiwan, in US, in Europe, they have already adopted this one. However, just like any kind of technology, it's not like either or, whether we choose this or choose that. At the end of the day, it's about providing more alternatives. I'm supervising a student doing a PhD work about freedom camping. Have you ever heard about that one? You're like, that is very popular in New Zealand, because New Zealand is a beautiful country. We have many camping sites which are free for people to come with their caravan, with a van, stay there, camp, like things, enjoy the sites. So for freedom campers, they would not enjoy the so-called virtual things. They really look into the real experience when you're using their own glasses or their own eyes. So back to marketing principle, it's all about different segments. That's what I want to add.
That's
Thanks.
good. All right. Anything you would like to add, Professor Zelina? One or two words?
For me, I agree with the both of our panel, Dr. Nan and Dr. Fendi, about the metaverse. Actually, metaverse is good to inform or to share about the specialty about the specialty of the product or the place, but to feel it. I think people most probably like to go in the real place, or to see the real product, or to hold the real structure. This is my suggestion or my opinion about this metaverse.
All right.
Thank you.
That's great. All right. Thank you to all three speakers. We have been at the end of our schedule. So it has been a very fruitful conversations among three speakers. So I would like to thank you to Professor Dr. Che Zalina binti Zulkifli from Malaysia, and also Dr. Fandi Ciptono from the New Zealand, and also Dr. Chitchanok Anantamongkolkul from Thailand. So we really thank you for your sharing ideas and your knowledge to our second ICOBUSS 2022. And we would like to welcome all of you to Stasia in the future. So we're looking forward to it. And now, at the moment, I would like to conclude everything, and I'm sorry that I cannot perhaps read all of the questions from the participants. Thank you very much to the three speakers, and have a great afternoon from Indonesia. And now I would like to go back to our MC.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, please give applause once again, and thank you to all our guest speakers today. Hopefully what has been delivered can be beneficial for all of us. To all audiences, the next agenda is we will give the conference certificate to all of our guest speakers, which are, the first speaker is Professor Che Zalina Zulkifli from University Pendidikan Sultan Idris, Malaysia. Here's your certificate. The second speaker is Fandi Ciptono, PhD from Victoria University of Wellington, New Zealand. And the third speaker is Assistant Professor Chitchanok Ananta Mongkolkul, PhD from Phuket Rajabat University, Thailand. And for all the conference participants, we will send your certificate through email. Ladies and gentlemen, we will continue the next event, which is a break room into parallel session to each topic. Here are the link Zoom for each session and theme.
Recording stopped.
Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to inform you that the parallel session will be started at 12:30 p.m. Yeah? Okay, thank you. To all the audiences, once again, we have 30 minutes, have a break time, and then we will start it for the parallel session at 12:30 p.m. Once again, we will start it again on the parallel session at 12:30 p.m. Thank you.